Okay, uranium friends. So we're checking in on DPLO on the ASX. So, we've been following this. I've made some videos and I've talked about the breakdown over here, how I wasn't interested as a buyer. I'm still not interested as a buyer. Um, there's many ways to do technical analysis, right? Some people like to predict what they think is going to happen. I don't do that, right? I look at the behavior of any particular equity. I look at its historical behavior, and then I start to make judgments off of that. But for all intents and purposes, at the moment, this is a daily downtrend that has not been lost, and in my opinion, it looks like it's going to continue. What's positive at the moment? Well, and you'll see this on the weekly, but for now, uh, this level, this gap fill area, it's acting as support. So we've gotten some buyers in the past week or so that have been supporting this dollar level. Okay, so let's just say it's a dollar. It's 99. It's 0.995, but it's a dollar. So it's getting support here. So we look at this volume bar, and it certainly looks like capitulation, even though it's green, right? So hey, multiple time frame analysis. Look back, zoom out. So this is a pretty high volume dump. The week of November 27th, and we can go back as far as we can go back here on Deep Yellow, and yeah, so that's like some absolute record volume on the name for that week. So we've seen a massive amount of volume here last week. Um, some people look at that as like capitulation volume, a little bit of a volume climax on the weekly. And it's possible, right? So what do we have right now? You can go back to my previous videos on the YouTube channel, how I've been talking about Deep Yellow. Um, but we have a weekly double bottom right here, which is, acting as nice support for the time being. In the very least, it's a great level to be working off of. I'm not going to be doing it because, again, I've said it over and over. ASX is much more difficult for me to trade with my style of trading that I do. So I'm really going to be looking for some sort of signal for me to get re-entry, and the signal's not there yet. Okay, so daily downtrend is continuing regardless of this what quite possibly looks like capitulatory volume. The daily downtrend is continuing. The gap isn't completely filled, but it's pretty close, right? But what's concerning here is that the loss of the 50-day moving average, the loss of the 50 exponential moving average, this gold line, all of these moving averages are still in the downward trajectory and have already bear crossed below these 50 days. So, what moving average is left? Well, down here at the 200-day moving average, 84 cents. Now, so I go, all right, well, let me look at the history of the stock again and see how it interacts with this 200-day moving average. So, if I pull back into the history, once it gets extended, it likes to go back and test it. And it tests it again. Gets extended again, comes back and tests it, usually gets some sort of undercuts, some double bottoms maybe. Okay, so then it starts dancing around it. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at for sure. It looks like to me, I'm going to be more interested at this point with a 200-day moving average test on Deep Yellow before I start thinking about taking a stab at it. So, what does this level give us? So if I were to just get a horizontal line. Let's just take a line so we can get a reference point. Yeah. So 200-day moving average lines up with this beginning of some volume support. I mean, this is where a lot of the action is in, right? You see all this volume support here. It's a big volume self to act as support. And we've got it here at the 200-day moving average. And you'll see there's a lot of interaction with this level. A lot of rejections here, uses it as support here, rejections, some support, rejections, support, rejection. So this level, this 82, what is it? 85-cent level on the ASX, it's starting to come into mind as a level to be watching. That's going to be my next area of interest for me, only because the ASX is much more difficult and cost prohibitive to trade. So, but if we use the moving averages metrics, once they start to stretch, they like to reconcile themselves. This is the weekly chart. They like to stack up again and act as support or act as resistance. So they're stretched. This is the behavior of the stock. This is not predictive technical analysis. This is just looking at the stock, the particular name, and understanding its behavior and its interactions with certain metrics. Okay. Deep Yellow does a lot of dancing around the 200-day moving averages. All right. So it gets stretched, uses it as support until it breaks. When it breaks down, it uses it as resistance. So I'm looking at that 200-day moving average as my next area of interest at the moment. So I have no interest in buying this stock until something changes. So what would be my signal if my key levels don't come into play? Well, I'm looking for some sort of weekly trend change, right? So, and this is the other thing with Deep Yellow. It doesn't give you the best signals on trend changes, right? So it just, once it's trending, it's trending. There's no trend change on this weekly level. It's just a full blast up. So it's going to be the most likely scenario is a weekly higher low, really, as opposed to 64, 65 cents, because in my view, this is all one move, all the way up. It's all one move. We don't have any definitive pivots on the weekly, which means you're probably not going to have them on the monthly either, right? So, yeah, it's not there on the monthly either. So we're in monthly consolidation. We do have a double bottom. This area becomes even more relevant with the monthly because you have the 200-day moving average and the 12 EMA right here too. So, area of interest for me on Deep Yellow, as an update to my previous videos that I've been putting out on Deep Yellow specifically, is going to be down here at 85. That's where I'm looking now. If I get to see some sort of daily move to this effect, get a bounce, get a rejection, pull back but hold that level, and then continue on. Um, I might be interested there. But there's some fake outs going on with this name too, right? So we've had it here. It just broke. This quick rejection. So it never got to change the trend here. Okay. So, one could say, oh, this might have been your daily higher low off of this level, but it never got through this resistance again. So I need to see like resistance breaks and supports hold for me, and setting of a new higher low level for me to be interested in taking some Deep Yellow until it gets down here. If it gets down here, I'm going to be reassessing. On the weekly, this volume, this bar last week looks capitulatory, but that is not confirmed at the moment. So I can't make any sort of uh, plays based on that. Again, because of my the difficulty in trading, the cost. But weekly double bottom at 99.5 with the daily partial gap fill. If I'm on the ASX, I might be looking at making a play at that. But I'm a bit restricted on my trading. So that's my update on Deep Yellow at the moment. I'm going to be much more interested down in the 85 area. ASX guys, do your thing. And we are over.